Something that I personally love to see happen is libertarianist ideals blow up in their face. To me, it's hilarious when the internal contradictions of a system prove that system to be wrong, and then watching the cognitive dissonance of its supporters have a meltdown. Now, one of those which has been the most ideologically driven has been cryptocurrency since 2013, and I wrote a book about it back in 2013. Cryptocurrency was the big thing. It's untraceable. The government can't do anything. You can use it to evade taxes, make purchases, etc. And then exactly what I predicted would happen. It would turn into nothing more than a valueless asset that gets speculated on, and that the market for it would be manipulated. Because imagine that. People manipulate the market in capitalism. So, what's so funny about this? ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is now tracing people who use cryptocurrency because they have software that can do it. Which means your transactions are being recorded. The government knows exactly what you're doing with that money. Well, not 100%, but they know when you're trading and who you're trading it with. You see, the thing is, the company Coinbase, formerly called Coinbase Analytics, leased software to ICE for $29,000 that allows it to track and identify crypto users, according to documents that were given to The Intercept, the journalist entity thing. So, potentially, it could be worth about $1.36 million next month. Now, ICE has access to a ton of forensics things through Coinbase Tracer. It's an intelligence gathering tool, formerly known. So Coinbase has essentially been, one of the biggest traders, but it's also been leaking stuff to the government. Imagine that. Big business works with the government. While the blockchain ledgers are typically public, like you could see them anyway, it would, the amount of data that's there would make it basically following the money trail would be beyond difficult, if not impossible. You would have to have a specialized software for it. You'd just be looking at numbers that are insanely impossible to follow. And of course, all of it, the justification for tracking it has been following illegal activities, which, no doubt, they really are, but if you think it's going to stay just to that, well, I think you need a better idea of how government works. In other words, everybody is going to be tracked, not just the people allegedly involved in illegal activity. Now, this was all discovered from a Freedom of Information Act that shows that ICE can now track transactions through a dozen different currencies. So if you just switch to another one, it's not going to make a difference. Bitcoin, Ether, Tether, they're tracking all of them, at least a dozen. The multi-hop link analysis for incoming and outgoing funds is what it is that they say they have. So you make a transaction, they can follow it. Now, The Intercept did want to speak to the head of Coinbase to ask them about this. And a disclaimer on the website said, Coinbase Tracer sources its information from public sources and does not make use of Coinbase user data. Of course, the company didn't answer any questions about how ICE is using the Coinbase Tracer, how it gets the data, or if the company imposes any limits on ICE's use of the tool. There probably isn't any, and they just sold it there to make money, so literally they just sold out other crypto people to make money. Because nobody would sell out anybody else under capitalism, right? This is what I love. Watching people and their utopian idea fall apart under the weight of reality. They are so insistent upon the idea that capitalism is infallible, that they will come to all kinds of rationalizations, gimmicks, techniques in order to get around that fact that they don't want to acknowledge. You can go cryptocurrency, you could go gold standard, you can go minimal or even no government. None of it's going to work. Every time a stateless society has been tried, it's been a blithering failure. It's just ended up in lawsuits and die before they get off the ground. Because they won't see what is wrong with capitalism itself. They're trying to look for some idealized version that cannot exist of a horribly flawed system that already does. Because they're not analyzing what's wrong with capitalism and then trying to find a solution. They're blaming bad things that happen and then trying to get around them. They don't understand why these things happen. And as a result, they end up with nonsense like this. So, I'm sorry, your utopian libertarian fantasy of completely, untraceable transactions, justice isn't real. It's not going to happen. You just don't get that it isn't some corrupt guy. It isn't the evil Federal Reserve. It's not whoever it is that's in power in the government. It's the system itself. And that's what these people don't want to look at.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.